And we'll start it off with chapter number 2. Chapter number 2. All right. Let me qualify my remarks this week, if I can, by saying that I never thought I would preach what I'm going to preach. I never thought. No, I haven't denied the faith. No, I haven't denied. No, I haven't left my conviction. No, I haven't. No, I didn't hit my head on the bedpost coming back from Pensacola. No, I have not been brainwashed. No, I haven't lost my thinking. No, I haven't changed what I believe. No, we're not changing our direction. No, we're not going back to the King James Bible. But we are moving forward. So I've entitled this message, something I never thought I would preach, but Yahweh has started moving in my heart when I formed the Chaim B'Yeshua Human Resource Center, when I rebuked and admonished the Nazarene Israelite movement for doing nothing except talking Torah and midrashing Torah and discussing Torah, but not doing anything to build the kingdom, to help the orphans, to help the widows, to teach the next generation, to build AIDS facilities, to build homeless shelters, to supervise and build hospices, and to really do the Torah. See, I noticed there was a man, the Nazarene Israelite movement, or the Messianic movement, call it whatever you want. I noticed many months back, and some of you remember this, you were here at that time, has a problem. The problem is we love to argue about Torah. When does the new moon begin? When does the Shabbat begin? Sunrise, sundown, sunset? All right? Should my tzitzit be in, be out, be blue, be purple, be yellow, be white? Did we find the shell? We didn't find the shell. We're going to find the shell. And then I noticed that Nina, my own daughter, had turned her back on Yahweh. And she needed a place to get better. She needed a place to rehab. She needed a place to convalesce. And I didn't waste my time opening the yellow pages and looking under Nazarene and Messianic, because I wouldn't find anything. Because as I told you many months ago, some of you have just come into this ministry, you don't remember, we have yet to build our first hospital. We have yet to build our first hospice. We have yet to build our first on-site rabbinical yeshiva. Sure, we have plenty of correspondence courses, and we have plenty of CDs, and we have plenty of tapes. We have nothing, we offer nothing, we give nothing, because we have nothing. We have no vision, we have nothing. When someone can't pay their light bill, they don't call a Nazarene Messianic congregation, because most of them are only 20 people. Most of the people don't tithe. Half the people go on Shabbat and they go on Sunday somewhere else, and they go on Monday somewhere else, and they float around. They have no conviction, okay, to right and wrong and Shabbat, and they have no conviction. So when they need their light bill paid, or they need some assistance, or they need some food, they go and get food stamps. They go to FEMA. They go to the Catholic Charities, because we have nothing. Don't bother looking in the yellow pages. Don't waste your time looking for help, real practical Torah assistance that will help feed our brothers and sisters, clothe the naked among us, visit those among us who are in prison. Don't waste your time. It doesn't exist. When you need something, you will call the church, because you know they can help you. And all of us have done that when we needed help, when we needed assistance. And this movement has to be shamed for that. And that's one of the reasons I quit the Union of Nazarene Israel. Not because I don't like Rabbi Ed. The reason I quit that was because I was tired of a whole bunch of leaders that did nothing but sat around arguing the Torah all day. And when it came to coming up with messages for the conference, couldn't even come up with a message. And I gave them 6 weeks to come up with a topic. So if you have nothing to say to the people and it takes you 6 weeks, Why are you doing it? What are you doing in the ministry? Yahweh has nothing. He's not doing anything in your life. You have nothing to show people. You have nothing to share with people. You have nothing to help people. You don't want to build things to assist people. And I don't need this. I don't need to be brushing the teeth of the leaders of this movement. And I never forget when a brother said to me, Dr. Atlas Laster, a black brother, a doctor of theology from St. Louis, Missouri, he said to me, Moshe, you don't need to associate with people where you have to spoon feed them every time to do the will of Yahweh in their life. He says, you're one of, and I don't say this boastfully or arrogantly, I'm just quoting you what he said. He said, you're one of the few people that can stand on his own in this movement. You don't need to be associated with this person and that person. You're one of the few people that can stand on their own. I do appreciate that. And that stuck with me all this time. But having said that, so I'm up going to Pensacola and I'm coming back and I'm going back to my roots and I see the Baptists sitting there with their hymnals, you know, turn to hymn 104, 105, and it's so basic, it's so salvation oriented. I mean, it's so elementary, it's so nursery, it's just so simple. But over the past months, I would say even going back 6 or 8 months, Yahweh has been dealing with me about my attitude. And we all have attitudes, okay? We all have attitudes, all right? My attitude about the church.
The Assyrian Medical Center.
See, well, they are Assyrian medical centers, but it's the attitude that was wrong.
Right.
Okay, they are Assyrian medical centers,
right,
but it's the attitude that was wrong. So, and over the past 6 or 8 months, Yahweh reminded me, when you got saved through the church. When you got discipled, you got discipled through the church. When you had the joy before the joy was stolen and taken from you, it came through the church. It came through the church. And see, then I got into the Messianic faith movement, and I started buying into the company line. I started buying into the rehashed, regurgitated thing, which is, oh, that's churchy. Oh, we don't do that. The church does that. We don't do that. That's in the church. We're not part of the church. We're separate. We're Jews. We're Messianic. We're Nazarenes. We don't want to be involved with that. We don't want anything to do with that. Okay, so there's this, just like there's anti-Semitism in the church, there's this pervading attitude against the very church that Yahweh used to lead us to salvation and discipleship within our movement. There is. It's there. Okay? And we think because we've come to Torah somehow now all of a sudden they are less spiritual than we are, and we are more spiritual, and they're not worthy of revelation, and they're not worthy. And it got to the point, I was sharing this with you on a Rosh Chodesh night. Many of you were not here. Many of you had not been here. Many of you had not come to this congregation at that time, and I was repenting, and I was asking you to forgive me. And I realized that that beating up on the church was not the answer, but because the answer was in the Word of Yahweh. That's where the answer always is. Of course, we're not going to adopt Sunday worship, but on the other hand, beating people up about what they're doing wrong, you know, you attract more bees with honey than you do with Uncle Ben's rice or with or with vinegar. And so it's a natural tendency to beat up on the church. And what Yahweh was showing me all this time was that they have things that they have to deal with, but so do we have things to deal with here in our movement, the same thing. Amen? So I've entitled this message, Preaching Until the Bell Rings for Chow, Understanding Our Church Brother. Now some of you are going to think I'm compromising, some of you are going to think I'm backslidden, and some of you think I'm reprobate. I can barely control your thinking now. I'm not going to start controlling your thinking after this message. But the church has so much to offer us, and they have so many things that we need to be thankful for. And when my daughter, she had gone to the depravity of sin. You name it, other than hard drugs, she had done it. Some of you knew it. Some of you knew more about what was going on than me and Richard knew. She was sneaking out every night. Every night she was sneaking out and coming back at 5 in the morning acting like nothing was wrong. She could have come back to us in a coffin because she was hanging out with people she met over the internet sexual predators who decided to prey on her, and she was just another victim to their predatory tendencies.